Hey gang, today we're going to do what I consider to be one of the absolutely best solos of the 1980s. That's the solo to Pat Benatar's Promises in the Dark. Neil Giraldo played the solo, co-wrote the tune along with Pat Benatar, and by the way, they're also married, still are, which is pretty darn cool. All right. Anyway, this solo really has it all. It has great feel to it. It has great note choices. It has a lot of good technical content, including some pick tapping that's pretty neat to do as well. So it's going to challenge you technically, and it's got a lot of great feeling in it as well. Super fun to play. We're going to demo it, and then we'll do the lesson. All right, see you in just a second. All right, gang, let's go over this now in some detail. First things first, you can download the tab from the link in the description. Might make your life a little bit easier. Okay, what I'd like to do is I'd like to do the whole thing in slow-mo, and then we'll go through it line by line. This is a song that's in D minor. All the chords fit into that. So basically, if you just think D minor, it'll all come in. All right, so here we go. We're going to start out here, 3rd string, 12th fret. I'm going to bend it up a whole step a bunch of times. So here we go. Finally. All right, so let's go over it line by line now. We're going to start out with the first line. I'm going to start out on 3rd string, 12th fret. Now you can play this on a 2nd string, 8th fret. In fact, that may be what Neil did. To me, it sounds about the same, so if you want to write me up from the YouTube, please, whatever. I'm going to play it up here on the 12th fret. If you want to play it down here, have at it, Hoss. All right, here we go. So it's just basically a bunch of bends on this, a whole step bends, okay? So. All right, the only thing I can say is that on one of them, or on a few of them, you can try and put in some pick harmonics, and that sounds really cool. So. It sounds kind of cool if you can do that. All right, we're going to come down here. And we're going to play on the 7th fret now and play the 2nd line. So this we're thinking about playing out of this D minor position, right? So on the 3rd string, 7th fret, we're going to bend that up, and we're going to come up twice on it. So it's like this. So here I bent that twice without picking it again. And then this is kind of neat. So that's 5 on the third string and 8 on the second string, coming up and down on that. And then bending up on the 8th on the second and hitting the 8th on the first. You've heard that sort of thing all the time. He really puts a lot of feeling into this solo, and that's where you can really kind of milk those notes for all they're worth. Okay, so here we go. Here's the next line. That's probably my favorite line of this. It's not that difficult, but so cool. He's using that 9th of D to great effect. So we're going to come up here. This is our bread and butter position, right, for our D minor. We all know that one. So we're just barring up here on the second and first strings on the 10th fret. So that's all we're doing on that one. And then we'll do it again. But this time we'll bend on that 13th fret a whole step. And give it lots of vibrato after we come down. So here's that whole line again. All right, now the really cool line. I just love that. So what we're doing is on the second string, on the 15th fret, we're going to bend that up a whole step and then play the 12th on the first string, which is the 9th of a D minor chord. And then finish up by playing this. So that's second string 13, third string 14. So ending on that A. I just love that whole line, and you can really put in a lot of vibrato and feeling into that line. So great note choices on that one. Okay, now here's probably the most challenging 2 lines to put together. The first is this. And then to quickly switch to the pick tapping. Ooh, geez. All right, so we'll do those separately. The first one really shouldn't be that hard, but somehow it is because we're playing on strings 3, 2, and 1 each time. So we're playing little triads. First we're playing a D minor triad. I think what helps is if you lift up your fingers and let them roll. Now we'll come up here to a C triad. So that D triad is on a third string. And I'll just say third string, second string, first string, so we get it in that order. That would be 7, 6, 5. Then we come up here for a little C triad, and we've got 9, 8, 8. All right, now we're going to come up here for a D minor, basically a D minor triad, and we're playing instead of the F, we're playing the G. All right. So I guess that's a 6th. All right, so here we go. So it's like this. So that's 12, 10, 10. And then finally, we'll play the C triad up here, which is 12, 13, 12. So the whole thing sounds like this. And you come down on that. And then play this. That's actually a really hard line on that last part, to be able to do that. To be able to do it at speed, because you have to switch. And that's really the hard part, I think, about this lick, is you really have to, or this line, is you really have to do a lot of position switching, changing your finger position around. So it ends up by playing on the second string 15th, basically bending that up, pulling off to the 13th. Here's the whole line. Let's play the whole thing now. Okay, we're instantly now going to go into this pick tapping. So it's literally, whoops, see if I can show you that. There we go. There's my pick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it like this, and I'm going to tap. So I have to shift a little bit. Now, I normally hold my pick like this, folks. Unorthodox. Most people hold it like this. across their thumb. So it's going to take more shifting for you to do it, but I don't have to shift that much. I just have to put it like that. All right, see if we can, that's not so good. Maybe on the blue shirt. There we go. It's easier to see. So basically like this, and you're going to tap on that end as much as you can. Now I'm doing 3 taps per when I do this, okay? So it's like this. All right, so you can see I'm having trouble playing it cleanly. But I go up to the 17th fret on the 2nd string, and I'm going to tap 3 times on it. Now, tap pretty hard. It's easier, actually, than doing the finger tap, but you do have less control. So what I'm doing is I'm tapping on the 17th, and I'm starting on the 15th with my finger here, and just going 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and that's where I'll end it, okay? So, like so. I only do 1 on the 10th. I don't remember what he did, but I only do 1. And then while that's ringing out, you slide it, if you can, if it's still ringing, you slide it way up here to the 22nd fret on the 2nd string. All right, and you can just get that approximately. It doesn't have to be there exactly. All right, so that's how it goes. So let's do that kind of slow again. All right, and that's that. Okay, we're in the home stretch, everybody. Here's the next line. By the way, the chords change at this point, but they still remain in D minor. So it's the same key, it's just a slightly different riff. But this is where they change. So there's a number of different ways to finger this. You could play this. That's fine too. I slide up here. So I'm playing basically on a 10th, going to the 8th, and then sliding up to the 13th. Okay, a couple times. One more time. But this time you continue to go up to the 15th on the 2nd, and then bend it up. And it's basically just approximately a whole step, and give it lots of vibrato, okay? All right, here's the next line. Grit your teeth and bear it. This is going to take a little bit of technique. So, best I could figure this out, it was this. So it's pretty cool. It actually uses some D minor notes as opposed to just the D minor pentatonic. So at first listen, it sounds like it's kind of going like this. Which is fine. If you want to play it that way, just out of the D minor pentatonic, that's totally okay, and it'll sound just fine. But I do think that the notes that Neil Giraldo played on this were kind of interesting and a little bit different. So let's go over that. So I'm going to start with just a little thing right here. We're going to start on a C on the 6th string, which is the 8th fret. So there's 2 prep notes. And then we're going to go like this. Next we're going to slide up on the 5th string to the 12th. All right. Then we're going to go up to the 4th string. Now here's where it's a little bit different. We're going to go up to the 3rd string on the 9th. And back down to the 10th on the 4th string. And now we're going to continue to walk up that D minor scale. 10, 9. So. And on this C, on the 2nd string, 13th fret, we're going to give that lots of vibrato. All right, let's put it all together, and it's going to sound like this. Okay, it's going to sound really good. The main thing that you need to look out for is this little position shift at the end. That might take you a little time to work it out, so play it nice and slowly. Okay, we're coming into the last part. All right, so there's a lot of different ways to play that, but we're going to play, the way I'm playing is on 3rd string, 14th, and then 13th on the 2nd. Slide up to the 18th fret, and then play 17. Okay, so now here we go. On the 20th, we're going to bend that up a whole step, but slowly. Now come down to the 3rd string, 17th. So far we've got. And then 19th we'll bend up just a half step or so, or sorry, a whole step. And then play the 19th itself and give it lots of vibrato. Slowly, here it is again. Okay, at the very end, it's just this right here. On the first 2 strings, we're playing the 22nd fret and coming down. Now, if you want to, you can put on a little delay on that one and sound just like the record. There we go. So that's all it is, folks. All right, gang, well, there you have it. The solo to Promises in the Dark. Neil Giraldo on guitar, one of the best. He's still playing, and he's still an incredibly good player. That's pretty neat. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why don't you sub to the channel and give it a like as well. We will see you on down the road.